Hello everybody. Happy Sunday night. How you guys doing? Yeah, okay. It'll do an update. Welcome guys. Welcome. Big Papa, how you doing? Misfit, welcome in. Alright guys, it was a good day. Good deal. What's going on? We are painting, and I will show you guys here momentarily. We're painting some tokens for Heresy. Well, let's jump in. We got these things. So I have them painted on one side, as you can kind of see underneath there. I'm not gonna pull it off right now, but I primed this other side. I need to paint this side. So I put some black primer on. I need to put some black paint over that, and then we're gonna dry as it's or we're gonna dry brush as it dries. But I'm just gonna get a big brush and we're gonna do this real quick. And if we need to do something else with our time, then while we wait for things to dry, we'll do that. But not usually, no. So I usually batch paint minis so much that like they dry. Well, yeah. And these ones I move through each one so quick. It's basically like I don't have time to let them dry. That's how these kind of end up working. Yeah. I got painting wife. She's gaming tonight, so she's chilling with us. Frankie Fingers, welcome in. Howdy. Yep, Belchalota's in. She just finished reading the entire Expanse series again. It was like her summer project. So she's all hyped up.
Yes.
I did play some Heresy today. I played some Zone Mortalis, which was a lot of fun. It wasn't quite what I think I was expecting, or probably anybody was expecting. We had a couple people get the lettuce sickness, and so allegedly or maybe, so we had to improvise what we have. I didn't realize it was so like prevalent. It's crazy.
There's so many more cases than what's even being reported.
Yeah, it's definitely, yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to go to the hospital.
Right.
Unless it's like absolutely necessary. That's probably most people.
Yeah, especially when you already know what it is, right?
Right. Why pay to go to the doctor?
Yeah, it's so expensive to go to the doctor. I've seen people joking that it's their new weight loss plan.
Ugh.
I'm gonna buy some pre-washed lettuce. Crazy. The ending. Some issues getting through the first book of the old Spance era, but I absolutely loved the last book. Oh, okay. Huh.
Look at me!
Yeah, the first 3 books you have to read them. Yeah, I have not read the series, but I have watched the series and love it. You mean look in memes, Misfit? All right, I'll take a look. Just a second. A lot of big stuff going up for pre-order today. It's a big deal. Nonsense memes. What is this? You've died from excessive Canadian wildfire smoke, inhalation, and diarrhea lettuce. Yep. Wow, you're really hitting the Midwest notes here. Jeez, this is my experience this weekend. Oh, dude, it's crazy. Was that Friday? It was really bad.
Yes, it was. That was Friday. We were hazardous.
That's right. Yeah, Friday was hazardous. It was everything was a haze outside. It was crazy.
Literally go outside for like a minute and my throat hurt.
Ugh. Yeah, it's gross. Yep, Friday was wild. Your 7-year-old stole your painting table? That's pretty great, actually. Probably frustrating, but that's adorable. Parasitic infection epidemic has really brought out the worst in home gardeners' egos. Yeah, you've never felt more validated growing your own greens. Well, funny thing, Big Papa. My wife and I were having this conversation today about how we should be growing lettuce. And I mentioned that you had, we had talked about this, you and I had talked about this, it was probably maybe a couple months ago or a couple weeks ago, about how you plant lettuce in your garden. You like ninja planted, or what is that called? No, we're not getting ash snow, fortunately. We're not that close. We're just getting the general haze and smoky smell. Chaos sowing. Which is incredible. It sounds so edgy. But yeah, I was telling her about that, and she's like, well, maybe we can ask Big Papa for some more details if he's on stream tonight. I'm like, yeah, he's, Sunday's the best night to catch him on stream. So, and funny enough, you're the first person that jumps in. It's way cooler sounding than it is. Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much.
Yeah. The bad boys of gardening, or chaos sowing right now. You're just like putting lettuce seeds in the garden.
It feels very metal.
Yeah, it does. It does. Feels very 80s.
Yes.
We wear our hats backwards and drink milk straight from the jug. Chaos. So, yeah, I don't know. Do you have could you send me a link to something, or if you want to, I don't know if you can post a message or just send me a message on Discord and tell me what you do, or a link to somewhere. Oh, did he? Okay. Yeah, just yeet them in between tomatoes. Yeah. Are there specific things they don't grow well around? We probably won't grow many tomatoes. Seems a good rate. Okay, thank you, dude. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're all hyped up on gardening. We've been very much sowing lots of reaping what we've been sowing in a very good way from our garden. So, yep. The sun. Okay, all right. Brush fires every year. Not as big as Canada's, but much closer. You get ash rain. That's wild.
That is crazy.
Yeah, no thanks. I don't want to deal with that. California sounds wonderful, but that is one thing I'd rather not. Ohio has such mild weather compared to everywhere else. It's an appealing thing in its own right to keep people living here.
Okay, random question now for Big Papa.
Uh-huh.
How many self-driving cars does he see around him in California?
Oh, okay, yeah. How many self-driving cars do you guys see around? We have friends that are in California right now. They were talking about how they saw 2 self-driving cars today, and they thought it was weird.
She said they're seeing them everywhere.
Oh, are they seeing them everywhere? Okay. Because that is not something you see in Ohio. Yeah, we're just painting some tokens tonight. What do you guys think? How many guys are getting the Kill Team box? The new Kill Team coming out. The Exodites. Fires and ground shakes once in a while? Yeah, that's California, right? Yeah, we had an earthquake here once. And it was a 5 point something, maybe. But everybody laughed at posting memes of the great casualties from the Midwest earthquake, and it was a lawn chair that was knocked over. No self-driving cars here, but there's a lot in LA. Okay.
They're in San Francisco.
Yeah. No self-driving cars in Michigan. Kundril. I don't know why I couldn't pronounce that. Kundril. Okay. Yep. I mean, Michigan's light years ahead of Ohio, so I imagine they'll be in Michigan well before they're in Ohio. But
yeah, Waymos.
Yeah, Waymos.
She sent me a picture.
Just a picture of a Waymo. Oh my gosh.
Is this what it is? They're everywhere.
Listen, our simpleton Ohioan ways are easily fascinated and amazed by the future. that is anywhere else in the country.
I'd love to have a self-driving car.
I know, it'd be nice. It would be nice to like run you into a pond. The technology needs to develop a little bit more.
Right,
but...
like, gotta develop it correctly.
Right.
Absolutely would love that.
Kids these days and their self-driving cars and their Pac-Man video games, yeah. My son played Pac-Man on an arcade machine at this place, and I don't think he liked it so much.
Wasn't flashy enough for him.
No. I wasn't asking him to pay real money for something every few seconds. So it wasn't enough. I mean, it kind of does, though.
He does not play those games.
No, he definitely doesn't. He definitely doesn't. I'm at the age where the future is scary and wrong. Yeah. It's the Abe Simpson quote.
Oh no, are we turning into Abe Simpson?
We are, yeah.
How did
He
happen?
called it. He said it would happen. He said I used to be with it. And they changed what it was.
Right.
And now what what is it? And now I'm no longer with it. And what it is scary. Is weird and scary. Is that what he says? Dang, I can't remember the exact quote. Then he says it'll happen to you. I know. I had to show my son that clip so he understood the reference. Inland Orange County, not super humid. The bay's always humid. Used to live in Emeryville. Okay. I'm not super familiar with like specific geographics, but all right. We got these guys. They're in a good place. So we got purple tokens. If you can see the bottoms of those, we got red ones. We got green ones. Then there are yellow ones. And what we're gonna dry brush slate gray, I believe is our color. Yeah, we're gonna dry brush some slate gray over all these, and then we're gonna take those colors that I was painting, and the specific colors, if I go through, we got plum, green, orange red, and warm yellow. These are our 4 colors. We're basically gonna paint these in. On this side, there are numbers on each of these because of how these tokens work and their purpose. These are status tokens for the Horus Heresy. This side has numbers on them. So this is 0 through 3, I think is what they have. And I'm going to paint the numbers themselves white, just to separate them out a little bit. So they're hopefully a little readable, specifically readable on camera. So from the top down, if you guys can see a yellow token next to you, you know that it's stunned. So things like that. Increasing the quality of the stream. That's the goal here. So that's what we're doing. But I was up late last night painting the other side. I varnished them this morning and then took them to an event with just having the half of them to put tokens down. And so I did that, and I figured I'd paint the other half, the other side today. If you do happen to get these, or you get like the Saturnine starter set or something, they come with a set of these. They're all on, it's 2 sprues, I think, of these tokens. Paint them on the sprues. You will thank me later if you paint these on the sprues. Let's cross the bay. Always chilling in the city. Weird. That's weird. Poor Kay. Why? Because, okay, so you paint them on the sprue. So they're connected on the sprue on the sides. These are for the Horus Heresy for 30k. They're connected on the sprues like this. They have like 2 spots that are connected on the sprue, each one of them. So you can hold the sprue frame and you can just paint these really quick. Instead of doing this jank that I have to like paint one side, varnish them, stick them on the other side, and you know, who knows if this stuff, okay, there we go, that's one side of them. That's the token, and now I have to paint this back side on their own. Yeah. Blue and OK Guardian, welcome in, guys. Yeah, that's why. Paint them on the sprue. Yeah, I played some Zone Mortalis today. I'll post pictures later this evening, but I did take a bunch of pictures. I know some people were asking me to to get pictures and tell them about it and everything. So, yeah, I hope your weekend was good too, Blue. Did you get some rest this weekend, or was it still just all craziness all weekend? We're just letting some of these dry a little bit, because I'm about to dry brush on these, so I don't want to... Okay, John Lockridge. Alright, man. Alright. Yeah, I'm going to dry brush. I don't want to be wiping the paint off. But, played Zone Mortalis. We had 8 people signed up for the Zone Mortalis event. And what we were going to do was just do 3 rounds, normal Zone Mortalis games. We had the missions set up. It was using the new journal, all the rules set up and everything. We were good to go. Between last night and early this morning, 3 people had to cancel, had to drop because of digestive issues, which is terrifying. And for a minute I was like, should I be worried to like go meet with people in public? But then I'm like, I'm not eating lettuce with people, you know, like it's not contagious, so that's good. Yeah, but so we ended up with only 5 people. Well, it's not just Taco Bell, it's Taylor Farms. Taco Bell is actually the responsible party here. You know, people meme on Taco Bell, but Taco Bell was the first one to like stop serving it, to recognize what was happening and to stop. They did that before the CDC or what the FDA called anything. You know, they're just dragging their knuckles across the ground at this point, and they're not doing anything about it. So it's actually a company called Taylor Farms, and Taylor Farms sells like packaged lettuce, like cut pre-washed lettuce. And apparently cutting and pre-washing it spreads more bacteria than just buying a whole head of lettuce. FDA forgot to do anything, yeah. It's crazy too, like historically our FDA has been like a great example to the rest of the world of like how you deal with stuff, and yeah, it's just not. The recalled lettuce from the Taco Bell universe is beyond Magic the Gathering said. Yeah. I'm sure they get a lot out of that. But yeah, so 3 people canceled due to possible lettuce consumption. So we were not quite scrambling. It was kind of like a plan B. And our plan B was we were going to do like a single big game. You know, it was going to be originally going to be a 2v2, and then we had a Mechanicum player who was going to kind of act like a third party. Then the FDA stopped monitoring this specific parasite. They did. Yeah, it's amazing. They did. Yeah, it's amazing how not watching these things leads to outbreaks. Crazy. But so we were going to do a 2v2 with the Mechanicum as third party. That kind of acted independently and just like sowed chaos, but we had a player that brought extra. He made a 3,000 point list instead of a 1,500, so we did a 2v3. It was a 4,500 point game, and so they evened out a bit. And it ended up, yeah, they stopped monitoring Screwworm. Yeah, Screwworm was the other one that was specifically called out last year as to like, why are we spending millions of dollars monitoring this random parasite? And then what do you know, less than a year later, it's like a big issue. Almost like they wanted it. So yeah, we had Loyalists versus Traitors. The Loyalists had a 3,000 point Iron Hands army, including Ferrus Manus, because I think the guy just brought it to show off. And then he had to make a 3,000 point list, and that's how we got there. So he had Ferrus Manus on the board. First time I faced off against a Primarch in 3rd edition. I didn't get near him, so there was that. And there was a Blood Angels player. And then on the Traitor side, we had Thousand Suns, yours truly. There was Mechanicum, and there's Death Guard. Okay, how are these doing? There's a couple that are still damp here. So we had kind of a scenario set up. We had like a kind of this vortex in the middle of the board, and it was basically the Death Guard. Yeah, sadly Manus kept his head, but he did have a funny fail at the end of the game. Sounds like a slobber knocker of a game. Oh, the Canadians, jeez. 2,000 points seems daunting. It's not bad. Yeah, I mean, you do it one squad at a time, Gundro. That's it. You pick one unit, you paint him, you get the next one. And you just kind of build up. And once you have that 2,000 points, it's great, though. It's a great feeling. So, there's basically like a portal in the middle of the board, and it was like the Death Guard were like summoning demons onto whatever ship that we're on or something. And, Loyalists trying to stop it, traitors are trying to keep it going. The original scenario had Thousand Suns on the Loyalist side, trying to shut down the portal because EU Nurgle's gross, but we ended up just flipping it around, and I was on the traitor side, helping the portal. The portal, I don't think, really came into being, like, we didn't play, nobody, like, interacted with it at all through the game, so it was just kind of, like, there. We all just kind of fought each other. I was deployed on like the right flank, and I was kind of facing off. I had two big corridors to look down, and a Star Laser, Raja, welcome in. And I was facing off against a massive tactical squad of 20 Marines. There was some, I think they're called Immortals, Medusan Immortals, Iron Hands units, and a Saturnine Dreadnought. And that was what most of my army faced off against, and I was kind of scared because big fire lanes, a lot of my shooting was closer range, so I didn't quite get like the doors and corners kind of feel in my lane, I guess. Yeah, 500 points of Eldar right now. It's supposed to be a bad first pick, but they look, I mean, if they look cool, if you're interested in them, it can't be a bad first pick. Yeah. The best army to pick first when you're getting into wargaming is one that you're willing to sit down and paint for hours at a time. If you can manage that, then you picked right. Okay, I think we start our dry brush. It's time. It's time. We're gonna get some slate gray here. Yeah. So, basically, my first couple turns, I was super cagey. I didn't want the Dreadnought throwing a giant plasma shot at me because it would just kill. Like, I had very killy squads, but they're really fragile. Most of them just like 1 wound, 3 up armor save guys. So I tried to play a little cagey. He was moving up after me, so it kind of worked out. When he kind of popped his head out, I got some shots at him. I took a first kind of volley at the Saturnine Dread. So the Dread was my big target because I have shenanigans that kill Dreadnoughts really quick. And it's a psychic power that basically lets my units auto-wound on a 5+. And when you auto-wound in Heresy, your wound roll counts as a 6. And so you find a unit that has breaching, which on a 6 you become AP2. And then you auto wound on a roll of a 5 to hit, and then it's AP2, and so the Dreadnought doesn't get an armor save. And it's really nasty. And then you put that on a weapon that does multiple damage per hit, and it's just brutal. So that's what I wanted to use that for. It's a fun combo. It's really disgusting, but I had 2 units that did that. So I fired his Dreadnought. I ended up causing 4 wounds to the Dreadnought, and I don't kill it on my first volley. For that turn, I was like, oh, I'm dead. I am so dead. Does Shade highlight a flat panel of PA Ivory? Dry brushing might be good, or like stippling. If it's a big flat panel, yeah. You might just have to think of like angles and stuff. But, yeah, I shoot at this Dreadnought. I'm trying to be methodical. Like, the Dreadnought's the biggest threat. Then the Immortals and the Tacticals are a big threat. And they're, we're using the newer Zone Mortalis, like, capture rules and stuff, so killing is your primary objective, but secondary you hold table quarters and you get a lot of points. But I'm like, I need to get rid of like the tough stuff. So that first turn I get shots off, I don't kill anything. The second turn I get some big shots off, and I kill the Saturn. The Saturnine shot at some of my my Marines. I have a special reaction for Thousand Suns, where I basically take a psychic check, and if I pass, I get a 3-up invuln. And so I had a 3-up invuln against his plasma gun, and then he ended up missing with both of his big disintegrator shots, so I was kind of safe for a bit. I took my next volley with my crazy troops against his dreadnought, and I killed it. And when I killed it, it exploded. And it hit 4 separate squads when it exploded. And one of those was the Medusan Immortals, which is like an elite Iron Hand squad. They're like breachers, basically. They got shields and stuff. They're cool looking dudes. He had 5 of them. 4, 6, 8. Okay. He had 5 of them in the squad. And then they proceeded to die to a man from the Saturnine Dreadnought exploding, which is very statistically unlikely to happen. But it was funny. I thought it was funny. He kind of thought it was funny too, or at least he was acting like it was. I don't know, just crying on the inside. Yeah, and once that kind of happened, like that one dice roll of just like, you know, blowing up the dread killing, you know, a whole bunch of stuff all around it, I was kind of like, all right, my flank is basically good, and I'm basically just mopping up at this point. So that was kind of how it went for me. I did fight against a character. I fought a duel and lost, but it was a Praetor and Terminator armor, and I had to do with the power maul. Like, he wasn't gonna mess with that guy anyway. But yeah, elsewhere, it was funny. Ferrus Manus was on the battlefield, and he jumped in. He killed some stuff. He was doing fine, and then he wanted to go kill the biggest thing on the board. The biggest thing on the board was a Mechanicum Thanatar. It's like the big robot they can get, if you guys are familiar with that. You can always look it up, Thanatar, basically spelled how it sounds. So he ends up getting over to it, he charges it, he hits it and does like 8 damage to the thing, but it doesn't die, it has 10 wounds. So he doesn't kill it. Hits him back and doesn't do anything to him. The next turn, they fight, still in combat, and he hits the Thanatar and then does 0 wounds to it. Either failed to wound or passed all of its armor saves. And so he was just stuck in combat with this Thanatar. These are Horus Heresy tokens. Yep. You can see I have the other side painted. They're status tokens is what these are. I do have objective tokens here. So these are the objective tokens with different numbers on them. I'll paint those later though. I don't think objective tokens are a huge thing I'm concerned about, just because of how we like to play games. I don't like to put out the objective tokens anyway. But I figured if I'm playing Heresy on stream, we use objective token or the status tokens a lot. So it's good for you guys to be able to see that there is a token on the unit, and hopefully at a glance be able to see what kind of token is on the unit. So I actually had the painting family help me come up with colors to use for everything that's, you know, varied and visible. Sounds like a Hulk battle on a ship? Yeah, just giant constructs, yeah. So Ferrus Manus didn't die, but he also, like, failed to take down... No, he ended up killing it at the end. He killed it. It was the third combat round he killed it. But that was way too long. Magnus would kill it faster. Just saying. Dies, kills all of his friends, refused to elaborate. Yep, that's what happened. Yeah, the Dreadnought just did that. There was a bunch of Dreadnoughts exploding. There was also it was a moment, a Castellax exploded right in the middle, big blob of Castellax, and wounded so many other models. It was crazy. But what's, I guess, fortunate for the Mechanicum player, unfortunate for everybody else, but the Mechanicum basically just repair through that damage. It's just kind of their thing. They're just all like, dude, just sit there and fix this stuff, or they're getting damaged. You have 3 opened and half-used bottles of Skeleton Horde Contrast. Yeah. Sounds like a problem. I only ever got one bottle of that. I used it a ton. That was my favorite contrast paint when it first came out, and then I just never used it anymore. It's like almost empty. But I don't think I've used Skeleton Horde in a long time. But yeah, the game by the end, we tallied up the final score. We were playing, Rattling Grime is amazing. Yeah, that's probably my favorite, like, utility contrast paint. The paint I use on the most models contrast paint anymore is either Talisar Blue or Striking Scorpion Green. But that's because I paint a lot of eye lenses and like glowing stuff, like plasma things. But Rattling Grime, it's like a gray brown color. That's really good. Ooh, way too much. No oil, but better. Yeah, brownish, greenish, blackish, just gross. Yeah, it is really good contrast. Yeah, you want like grimy stuff. Rattling Grime is definitely your color. Striking Scorpion Green is great on Striking Scorpions. That's really nice. Yeah, I guess that's good. It's good that it works on them. Ultramarines Blue is terrible. It is a horrible color and does not look good on Ultramarines. I need to get a bottle of, it's the Vallejo True Metallic Metal, but specifically a color called Forge Red that I did not know existed until like last week. Yeah, Dark Angels Green is horrid. That and Ultramarines Blue are probably the 2 worst contrast paints I think I've ever used, and I have maybe 40 or 50 of them. Terrible paints. Started on these properly here. Yeah, GW greens are pretty bad. You just need to bring back old Goblin Green and Snot Green. Those are the two great green colors of my childhood and young adulthood. I have not messed with any of the one coat stuff yet. No. I saw they have their second series coming out of the one coat, and they got some good colors in there, so. Yeah, but I haven't messed with it at all. I use Procro washes, and they're transparent and everything, but one thing I've noticed And I don't think the one step are any different from this. From the video reviews I've seen, their acrylic paints are very thin for acrylic paints. Like, right, you can hear how thin they are. The washes, though, when you just grab like a wash or contrast. So if we take, oh, it's almost out. Hold on. Let's take like a Reichland Flesh Shade that's been sitting for months. Like, you see how it's like, it's a pure like liquid, right? But then if you take a similar wash, the Pro Acryl stuff, you can hear it's a lot thicker. And it doesn't quite have that same like extreme flow property that like a lot of these speed paint, express color contrast paints or whatever have. And it makes me wonder if they're going to be good in their role. And when I saw the PA washes are definitely like they're hit or miss. I think I've liked what I use. They're just so different for what they are, right? Been sick for 5 days. Oh, did you eat lettuce, John Lockridge? Hey, Vaughn, welcome in, and thank you for the sub, man. 30 months, 2.5 years is crazy.
Whoa.
Crazy. Right. You like to add flow. Okay, so you like the paints thicker, so you can add. Yeah, and I add flow improver to mine, but then once I add flow improver to the PA washes, they just don't have the pigment. Okay, just a weird summer cold. Ah, that's too bad. Yeah, I mean, it stinks. Yeah, it's a good point. At least it's not the parasite. But all right, here's what I think I'm gonna do. We're gonna stick with some thin coats here. We have to do this like backwards, and I gotta be careful with this to not get over the lip. We're gonna do this 8 times per color, probably 3 or 4 coats per color. Feel better one day and worse next. Yeah, shake the flow improver around the washes. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, give them essence of flow improver. Sometimes that's enough. We're going to paint these numbers white. We don't need to worry about black paint on them, but we don't want to get the black paint on the areas underneath. Yeah, these are gonna take a while. They're gonna take a while. Might be able to get away with just doing one color at a time. This is plum. Yeah. Tuvon, welcome in. So these are status tokens for the Horus Heresy. Just to give you an idea, let's see, hopefully this doesn't... Ugh, yeah, okay, so let's stick in some of the... Okay, this is one side that I painted last night. I have to get the rest of the blue tack off of there. And the other side that we're working on. So, because I clipped them off the sprue before I painted them, like as soon as I'm like, oh boy, I'm excited, and then I just clipped them all off and I was like, crap, I can't paint these now. So I have to paint them in 2 stages like this. we're painting these status tokens, and these are basically just denoting which of the 4, they're called tactical statuses, your unit has if it gets negatively affected by something. So it could be pinned, stunned, suppressed, or panicked. They all do different things. So one of the things I love about the newer Horus Heresy rule set, as opposed to any other game Games Workshop makes, is the depth of the actual like morale rules. Yeah, they're so good. There's so many like morale and like, I don't know if you call them like soft stats that units get that kind of help them in different ways through the battle. So remember what status it was in 7th? Yeah. Were there statuses in 7th? Yeah, there was like pinned and stuff in old 40k, right? Morale still makes you run toward the board edge. Panic makes you run toward the board edge. Yeah. If your unit is routed or is panicked, they will run toward the board edge. Otherwise, there's different things. So like if they're pinned, they can't move. The unit will sit in place because they're pinned down, right? If they're suppressed, they fire only snapshots. So you can still shoot with them, but they're much worse. And then if they're stunned, they can't use reactions. Now, I think any status unit isn't allowed to use reactions. So stunned is like a very minor one, but having any status on your unit is a pretty big negative. If you're statused in any way, you can't hold objectives. Yeah, you can't react. You don't count for like a lot of stuff. But yeah, it's being statused is a big deal. And you can use things like every unit tests at the end of their own turn to get rid of the statuses. But if you have things like nuncio voxes, so like radios, right? You can test at the start of your turn to see if you get rid of statuses. Yes, Night Lords gain a melee advantage when they attack units that have a status on them. So for Night Lords, it behooves them to bring a bunch of weapons like flamethrowers and rotary cannons and stuff. And they run and put statuses on units in the shooting phase, and then they charge in and get a big bonus. Word bearers, do they have something? Yeah, that's their reaction, right? They have an advanced reaction where they ignore the status, or do they have the one where they put all the damage on one unit, one model? I know their Legion trait is they get extra like combat resolution. Basically, they're just like fanatical when they get into combat. Oh, Malefic, yeah, Malefic does that. Yes, like demonic units basically ignore statuses, but they take damage instead, which is like classic Warhammer, right? They start to fade away from existence. Yeah, any Traitor Legion can get Malefic units, which is cool. I have not used Malefic units yet. Yeah, they choose one model and it takes all the damage, which is hilarious. From a shot. It's like a big shot that's going to kill your whole squad, and you just use a reaction, and like one dude dies while everybody else lives. Yeah, that is like a cool thing about Word Bearers. They get a bunch of Malefic units. I hope whenever Legion specific stuff comes out, I hope they add more Malefic units to the traders. I'm also hoping that the Prospero Journal, the Tzeentch, have good rules for allying with Thousand Sons specifically. You preach to the world. Yes, Tuvan, you're right. It was Lorgar. He's the one that started the Church of the Emperor, and then he turned traitor. Lorgar. Lorgar. Who else? Iron Warriors don't really care for statuses, or they don't get like just like negatives when they have to take certain status checks, because they're very like just implacable. And Dark Angels have a cap on like the negatives that they suffer when taking status checks. Painting cell suits again? No. These are status tokens. Just painting some game pieces. It's nice. It's like a necessary step, in my opinion. I've put this off for almost a year at this point. Status tokens for Horus Heresy. Yep, 3rd edition. And they mark tactical statuses your units get. So a lot of morale rules for Horus Heresy, which is really cool. They're really in depth. But you use these tokens to mark the various statuses. They are pinned, panicked, stunned, and suppressed. One of my biggest gripes with modern 40k is the like boring morale stuff. We're just like, it's super anemic. And 30k was better in 1st and 2nd edition, but then 3rd edition added a whole bunch of cool stuff. Every unit has 4 leadership stats, like 4 different stats. Some of them are more important than others, but it's still cool. Like, you're playing Zone Mortalis, your unit has to take an intelligence test, which is using your intelligence stat to open doors. Which is pretty funny sounding until you realize, like, you're opening, like, locked ships' bulkheads and stuff. So, like, it does require some, like, calm and, like, thinking through a process and everything. And I failed a whole bunch of those tests to open doors today when I was playing my Zone Mortalis games. It's kind of embarrassing. Just rolling boxcars and my guys couldn't open the doors. So did you guys see the preview, the Sunday preview? So the stuff that's coming out in about 3 weeks. Only took an hour, but you're ready to paint. Okay, nice. One of the things that's cool, there's some heresy stuff, especially that the combi weapon set will be cool. I'm looking forward to that. Might have to pick that up at some point in the near future. It's like a nice to have set. It's kind of pricey. It's like $50, but I don't think you would ever need more than one of those. But that's cool. The Mark IV Heresy stuff. The Kill Team is definitely the big one. Kill Team Exodite's coming out. It's got a release date. It's August 8th is when all that stuff comes out, by the way. Something interesting, though, is a bunch of terrain kits are coming out. And it's not the pre-painted one. It's the unpainted version by the Exodites. I got no use for the orcs. Yeah, I have a feeling nobody is going to want the orcs out of there. And the orc players are going to be picking up orc models for pennies on the dollar. Yeah, so if you're an orc player, get ready to just be bombarded with Beast Snaga boys, basically. Look at veteran squads for combat weapons. Unsure what to do with them. Yeah. So, yeah, waiting for box breaks. Yeah, that's good. Blue, you're not going to have any trouble finding orcs from that set, dude. And I think Beast Snagas currently aren't very good in 40k. So it's not even like... There's not even like the meta players that are going to pick it up. It's just... Yeah, it's purely just for orcs to build out their collection. So, like, if you got into 11th edition thinking you'd start an orc army, I called this too. I called it when they announced this in the preview stream, that this was like the orcs' time. Like, they're eating really good because they just have all these sets that nobody's going to want orcs from. Orcs you don't want to be snaggers. Yeah, but it comes with like the big like I don't know, squig rider guys, right? Stuff like that. Frank, you say you don't want the beast snaggers, you're gonna get them for like $10, dude. That's the thing. Orcs just finished first and second at Tacoma. Did they really? That's funny. So orcs are about to get nerfed into the ground. I don't know, maybe they'll just be the problem faction all edition. They'll be the Eldar or Necrons this edition. But so the terrain. The terrain is interesting. It's the unpainted terrain. If you guys remember the preview stream when they talked about the pre-painted terrain. Yeah, what else get the Battle March box? I tried to find the Battle March book today and it was sold out on my LGS. I was gonna grab it, but they didn't have it. So the terrain that's when they announced the preview, they talked about the pre-painted terrain, and people were asking about the price of the pre-painted terrain, and yeah, there's something funky going on with the Battle March. Yeah, the Wood Elves were excluded from the pre-made lists, and then they release a box. I don't know, man. I don't know. The old whoever's managing the old world is like all over the place. But someone asked about the price of the pre-painted terrain, that big set that's like, you know, fill a whole table. You buy one set, it's pre-painted. You just put it together out of the box. It's good. They said it'll be a little more than $300 for that set of terrain. Which, when you're thinking of pre-painted terrain, you're like, yeah, okay. To clip off and left gray nubs. You know, it might not be gray nubs. It might be like a colored plastic. Because if it's like a green, I don't remember if it was a gray plastic or not, but if it's like a colored plastic, that would be a lot better. But if you're concerned about gray nubs in your terrain, you were never going to be a customer for this terrain. This was not targeted toward you. But anyway, they said a little more than $300. Okay, people were like, well, you know, a little over $300. We talked about, like, that's a lot of money, but also, like, that seems like it's going to be popular. I can see that selling for $320. Should have Grace Spears. Okay, yeah. Well, like I said, you're not the target for this stuff. They have the Combat Patrol terrain set was announced today, is coming out on the 8th, and the price for it popped up. I put it in Discord, and it is it's $170 for the Combat Patrol terrain set. That's the unpainted terrain set, And they said that 2 of those boxes makes for a full 40k sized terrain set. It's the same stuff that comes in the pre-painted terrain set, just only half as much per box. That's $340, those 2 boxes. Do we think that the pre-painted stuff is going to cost less or more than the unpainted stuff? It's probably going to cost more. So he said a little above $300. What is he talking about? Because I don't see how they're getting to a little above $300 at this point. It's going to be, I'd say 400 at least 400. Yeah, again, Nemo, you are not the target audience for that set. You're asking questions that someone who would not buy this set is going to ask. Would it be $300 for half a table? Yeah, 3D printers, right? Like, yeah, $340 for a table worth of unpainted terrain. How much is it for the painted stuff? Premium paint jobs hand of. Yeah. I mean that's G-Dubs in a nutshell, right? Yeah, the people paying for that are not fixing anything. And the people paying for that understand that what they're paying for is to get something better than they will ever make or paint. Maybe not ever, but better than what they can paint or make, which is probably true. I imagine anyone who has played on a kitchen table or out in a garage or in a basement knows that, you know, sometimes you just play with like books down as terrain and soda cans and things like that. Like, that's terrain that people like use when they played this game, right? So when you're like, look at this out of a box, you clip them out and you have terrain that looks better than anything you've had on your on your tables before, people are gonna buy it. Yeah, it's also made for, and they already announced this too, that there's a tournament. It wasn't Tacoma, was it? But there's a tournament that is coming up that every table, they're providing the terrain sets for every table, and it's gonna be that pre-painted terrain. Yeah. John Lockridge is someone. Yeah, you don't want to paint the terrain, right? Oh, was that the tournament this weekend? Had all that pre-painted terrain? I might go check out. I want to see what that stuff looks like on the table. I do like the look of the terrain. I think it's a little scrawny, like skimpy, as far as like a full battlefield worth of terrain. It's no like Sector Imperialis they used to have with those huge like buildings that were like super modular and everything, but I think it can work. Yeah, it's for tournament players. It's for, you know, the players that don't like painting anyway and can get an easy set of terrain. It's for tournament organizers and like big event organizers when they can just pay it. They don't have to pay someone to paint the terrain. They just buy the sets. You know, maybe they talk to GW directly and get like a huge discount on it. That's who it's for, which is a huge number of people. GW is going to make a killing on that terrain set, and they're probably going to make more. I don't know how much is going to be left after the tournament. You think people are just going to steal it? First game of Warhammer back in college, had no idea what I was doing, no idea even what edition. Beer became a focal point of the game, so we had to leave it there for the combat surrounding it. That's funny. Yeah. We used to use, like, when I was a teenager, like red Solo cups as drop pods. I literally have never owned a drop pod until earlier this year. And I've been in this hobby for 25 years. Like Killicam, you guys know Killicam. He would field drop pod armies with like every unit a drop pod. Never once bought a drop pod mini. It was always water bottles and red soda cups, red Solo cups and stuff. That's what it always was. We play on a pool table because the pool table was green, so it was like half of what we needed. I don't think people are going to steal the terrain, though, from tournaments. I think people will treat the terrain just as well as they treat all the other terrain at tournaments. I've never heard that being a problem at tournaments, people stealing terrain. Is there going to be someone out there that makes it a life goal to collect an entire set of terrain over the course of a year just by attending tournaments and taking one piece from every tournament? Maybe. That'd be really funny, actually. They have staff to collect the terrain, yeah. Yeah, I imagine things will be marked or labeled and stuff, too. But, like, how convenient is that for a tournament organizer to have pre-painted terrain just right there? Treat that terrain like cut from the... Yeah, it might get broken and stuff. Maybe. Again, does that really matter for the tournament, though? Like, I don't think it's going to be any different than other terrain, at least how it's treated at the tournament. But I still think it's going to be a money-saving opportunity for big events. Yeah, if you're going to treat it bad and you risk getting banned, like, most people aren't going to do that. Yeah, it's a good solution for LGSs. Yeah. It does take a beating. Yeah. Already have a home. Yeah, and that's a whole other thing too, right? If they're using the same, like all the big tournaments are using that same set of terrain, it encourages players to pick that up, whether it's pre-painted or not, but it encourages them to pick it up so they have the exact terrain to work with, right? Grand tournaments are managed by FLG. A lot of them are, yeah. You're talking about buying a bunch of sets, yeah, it's a huge market. It's such a smart move on GW's part. Like, that is one of the best ideas they've had in a while, in my opinion. Like, financially, my hope for them with that, like, I don't plan on buying that set. If someone wants to send me a set, I'm happy to accept it. You type !PO for my PO box and you send it right there. But I don't plan on buying a set. However, I really hope that GW makes this like an annual thing where they release a new terrain set. Did that work? Or is PO box? !PO box. That's what it is. Yeah, there we go. Yep. You can send me stuff right now. Yep, right now. That's what it says. But I hope they get really creative with that terrain, and it's not just like a different set of ruins. Either they get... Gotta hit the caps lock. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, weird. Huh. So I hope it's either they start putting like really interesting terrain, like they do like like a cool like fortress set or like a jungle set, right? Like we're overdue for some GW jungle terrain and themed boards. Like that would be really cool. Or the newer sets they make them compatible and like modular with the current set, where it doesn't look totally out of place with the Armageddon stuff. Either of those would be great. Yeah, jungle set would be really cool. Yep, I always wanted like a jungle terrain board. So much terrain. I want to lock in 11th edition footprints. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, GW's in on the preset terrain layouts at this point. Yeah, Nightbot's a good bot. Yeah, that is a good point. The footprints are really nice that GW did that. Hopefully that sticks around and it's not like, oh, you need these exact pieces. The footprints were a good idea and make this much more palatable, right? Repainted, they're doing new Kickstarter of the Orcs and Space Marine sets. Oh, cool. Is it weird the thing I'm most excited about for 40k is the terrain coming out that I don't even plan on buying? I am kind of interested in some of the stuff coming out on the 8th. There's like some terrain sets that are basically like scatter terrain, and I kind of want those for my Zone Mortalis board. But I also feel like I could find STLs that are pretty similar to those, and I could just grab that. So I'm not too concerned. Yeah, I have a ton of terrain. I have so much terrain, but I always want more. You've enjoyed 11th? That's good. That's good to hear. Yeah. I haven't heard many complaints about 11th, so it seems like people are liking it. I am sure I will get games in eventually. Debating whether I think I might need a third coat of this. So we'll go and do a third coat. I'm just doing these one at a time. Last night I was doing these. I did all 4 of them at the same time. All 4 colors. That's kind of miserable. The Typhon. Nid terrain. Maybe those little mound things, little Gene Stealer. I remember the little Gene Stealer sprues, yeah. Yep. I know what you're talking about. Little like 4th edition terrain stuff. I used to have some of the old jungle trees. GW made the plastic jungle trees. Change to cover balance shooting. Okay, that's good. Sector X, welcome in. Yeah, little palm trees work for Scarif. Yeah. You can find good palm tree, like train on online, dirt cheap. And they're like colored plastic. That's what I used for my Prosper board for that Plaza piece I have. I ended up putting a little bit of paint. I dry brushed some lighter brown on the trunks, and then dry brushed some bright green on the leaves, and then put a matte varnish on them, and they look perfect. Luffy, welcome in. Pick up some toothpicks and foam balls. Yeah, do the cacti. Yeah, I remember that. I know what you're talking about. I think that's the book I have. I have the How to Make War Games terrain book from GW. They might have a guide on how to make that specific terrain in that set. Nice color. Thank you. This is Pearl Curl Plum, and we are painting some status tokens for Horus Heresy. It's a good book. Yeah, I've always been fascinated by terrain stuff, but I've never been like really good at making terrain. But yeah, there's something about a great looking board that just sets a game apart, right? Oh, something I said we'd talk about. We gotta talk about this tonight. I'm gonna call it the Painting Dad Legion Project. That's what we'll call it, because that sounds exciting. So the Legion Project, we talked about this on, I want to say Thursday. Is that Thursday? That was Thursday. If you guys want to Project Legion, yeah, that's cool. Okay, Project Legion is way cooler. All right. I want to paint minis from every Legion. And there are a couple things I want to do specifically, but that basically ends up being up to you guys. The first thing I want to do with TPD's Great Crusade, yeah. First thing, might do this in like stages, okay? First thing I want to do, I want to paint one Legionnaire from every Legion. And if you guys want to sponsor a Legion, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to grab a tactical squad box. And we can vote on what mark of armor, doesn't matter, any mark of armor. But I'm going to grab a tactical squad box, and I'm going to paint a Legionnaire of every Legion that's sponsored. I want to get everybody sponsored before we do it. And then I'm going to paint one Marine from all the 18 Legions. There's 20 Marines in the box, but I'll paint a Marine from every Legion. We'll paint them on stream, we'll have some fun with it. And I want to kind of see if I can get like a cool color scheme for each Legion. And do something interesting with that. I think that'd be fun. The next part of this is do like a Legion of the Damned mini. Yeah, maybe. The next part of this is if someone would want to sponsor a squad from a Legion, because I want to see what it's like to kind of assembly line paint specific Legions, and I'm curious which ones are easier, which ones are more difficult, and why. Right, because I kind of feel like my Thousand Sons are among the more difficult to paint, but I would like to test that theory. And so I want to do a part where if you want to sponsor a squad, it would be either a tactical squad of 10 models or an assault squad of 10 models. You can do that. And it's essentially going to be paying for the box of models, right? And I'll paint them. Now, the key of this is I'm not sending anybody minis. They're going to stay on display. And this is just kind of an experiment. Your name will get on the base. You'll thank you for it and stuff like that. If, say, if there's people really like Dark Angels, all right? And I don't have a Dark Angels army, but people keep wanting to sponsor Dark Angels squads. I will keep painting Dark Angel squads. If we get to a point to where I can field Dark Angel squads on the table, and play like a Zone Mortalis game, or like, we start getting interesting things and playing them. I will do that. And then the squads will be represented by whoever, each sponsor is for the squad. So, you sponsor a squad, your name goes on that squad. That is your squad. That's how this is. So that's the plan. And then also, if you want to sponsor a Thousand Suns squad, if you're like, man, I want a whole squad that I know is going to see the table at some point, Thousand Suns are the ones to do that. And, you know, said your name goes on the bases, you get the shout out. I did do a big shout out for my Zone Mortalis games. If you guys saw my post on Discord from last night, I posted up the whole list and everybody with a name on a base that was in that battle. So yeah, that's essentially what it's going to be. And to sponsor, so if you just want to sponsor one mini, I think what I will do is I will say $5. And for this opening one, it's just $5. You pick a Legion. That mini will get painted, and your name goes on that mini's base. That's your Legion. Alright, you represent your Legion. We'll do one of each Legion for that specific one. So when Blue immediately calls Dark Angels, he shuts anyone else out from getting Dark Angels. Yeah. So we'll do that. So just, you know, any Legion, all Legions, you want to sponsor them. Can you sponsor for a randomly selected person in chat? I'm going to say you have to choose the person. I'm not going to set up I don't know how to set up like a randomly select someone in chat idea. Oh, there you go. Yeah, and all this stuff, well, so the sponsor things, if you want to donate more, you can. But this basically, $5 for mini basically covers sponsor Nightbot, let Nightbot choose a squad. $5 mini basically just covers the box. Alright, Blue. Blue's got the Dark Angels. Okay, alright. I guess I'll get a pen and paper here in a moment. I'll write this down. Yeah. So you pick a Legion, that Legion's yours. You go for it. This money is basically just going toward buying the tactical squad box. The box is $90, whatever it is. So, you know, I'll get 18 Legions sponsored. That'll cover my $90. And then there's 2 extra Marines, I guess, as a little treat for me. So that'll be it. So if you got one that you like, Nightbot has to choose Night Lords. I mean, if that's what you feel, Big Papa, then we can do that. Got this donation thing. Oh, it should be just a PayPal thing, right? Oh, I can't believe we streamed this whole time and I haven't finished one of the colors yet. I don't want these sitting on. How do we donate? There should be a donate button on my page. Yeah, you gotta scroll down a little bit. Should be in the About section, yeah. Little button that says Donate. Yeah, and if if you want to sponsor a squad, I'd say $50 for a tactical squad, $80 for an assault squad. And that'll cover an entire squad. It's a 10-man tactical squad or a 10-man assault squad. And you just pick the Legion. I paid that Legion, and that's a whole squad, and it'll be your squad. If people want me to build a White Scars army and they keep sponsoring White Scars units, I'll build it and then I'll play it. But I am putting together a Zone Mortalis board, so this will be something, it could get more, it'd be more variety on the stream of units or armies. And yeah, we could play Zone Mortalis, which is good for like low points values games, so it should be pretty quick to get together. I don't have to worry about buying tanks or anything to add to them. Yeah, it's on now. Sure. Yeah. I'm going to get, once I finish this little bit of purple, I'm going to get some paper out. Pen and paper, because people are wanting to do this. Dark Angels are so fun to paint in Heresy, though. A great color scheme, great vibe. And all that. This is just a tactical marine to start if you're just doing the one model. Just keep that in mind. I'm gonna send a cashier's check. Alright, alright. I've used a cashier's check once in my life. You send me a cashier's check for $5, Big Papa, I swear. Okay, sticky notes. Let's do, Legion, I'll do Crucial Blue, Dark Angels. Got him down. Hey, Mr. Lord, what's going on? Okay, here's what I'm going to do now. I finished with the purple. I'm going to go through with this bold titanium white, and I'm going to try to put white on these numbers and see how it looks. What we're gonna do, I take two coats.
Back and forth, back and forth.
Hey, Tuvon. What's your Legion of choice? What do you got? Death Guard? I'm gonna say Death Guard. That's my guess. How well do I know people? You're a Death Guard player, right? You're just gonna bombard me with Space Wolves and make me collect a Space Wolf army? Oh yeah, that's nice. That's really nice. Look at that. He wants Death Guard, yeah. Alright. I shall write down the Death Guard soon. Stoked for Raptors not being stuck with the Chaos Lord. Yeah, yep. They said what, $65 US retail for the new Raptors? That's good though. That's good. If you want multiples, I guess. Yeah, that's right. You said you can get 20 of them. I feel like from an initial investment, like it's just better to get that Lord because that's a $45 mini or whatever, but Death Guard, alright. What do you pay for? That's alright. It's alright. Your lady's got you covered there. Also, hi Sarah Elizabeth. How are you doing? So Death Guard and Dark Angels are spoken for. What else we got? Yeah, and if you're listening to this as a VOD, I'll put a little post. You can do either Misfit. If you want squad or singles, just let me know. If you want to ask ahead of time too, I know you're talking about doing a Thousand Suns squad, and if you want to do a Thousand Suns squad, let's talk about it. So, yeah, I'll put the rules. Yeah, it's I'll tell you, and then I'll put the rules in Discord. But pretty good tired, yeah. So for a single Marine, can't be a Marine that's spoken for already, a Legion that's spoken for, and it's $5. And it'll be a tactical Marine I'll paint. It'll have your name on it. It'll be on display. It's the Legion project. If you want a squad, we're going to start with just tactical and assault squads. A tactical squad of 10 is $50, full tactical squad, and I will I'll assembly line paint them, batch paint them. We'll see how it goes. I'm curious about who's easiest to batch paint, who's the most difficult. Like, what does it take to batch paint some of these? That'll be $50 for tactical, $80 for an assault squad, because that kit is much more expensive. And you'll get to choose the armor mark and stuff for that, so we'll make that happen. But yeah, if you want something for Thousand Suns, just we can figure it out.
Layer after layer
Ghost
after
Hogs.
layer.
Whoa, hold on. Oh, no, I didn't see your comment. Dang it. The stupid donate comments don't stick around. Let me see. What did you say? I'm sorry. Raven Guard? You want a Raven Guard Assault Squad? Is that what that is? Dang, dude. Alright, I gotta write some different things down here. Okay, we gotta do Death Guard for Tuvon. Oh, a Breacher Squad. Okay, sweet. Alright. That Breacher Squad, I think, is that much, isn't it? Different than a stereotype for Mortalis. Okay. Already breaking the rules, Ghost Hawk. I was gonna put your name on the guide too, Vaughn. If you want to do a full squad and you want to send me names for each individual Marine, we can do that. You just got to send it to me in writing. Like, I'm not going to write down individual names for all the Marines, but if you want a name for each Marine, I'm happy to do that. But I'll order stuff at my LGS as soon as possible. Especially Ghost Hawks just throws money at that squad right away. And I'll be painting some Raven Guard. Name a guy, not my real dad. Yeah, Greenleaf. I see you there. I see you. Being a menace as usual. I hope you're doing well, Greenleaf. I hope everything's okay up there in Canada. We're getting residual smoke from everything here in Ohio, and it's pretty miserable. August, welcome in. Thank you so much for the follow. How are you doing? Or do unless you want to open up to others during the project. Okay. Yeah, if you want to do if you want to name everybody in the squad, you can. You just gotta send me a message on Discord or whatever. Trying to smoke. It is working, dude. It's my sinuses have been killing me. Like, my skin is all messed up right now. Like, it's crazy. I am very delicate. All right. One for the chat to name them. You want chat to name the squad? Okay. All right. American governor's crying and making us laugh. Yeah, good. I'm glad though. I'm glad. I hope you guys are having a good time with that. A good time with those wildfires up there. Seriously though, I hope you guys are doing all right. I hope it's not too catastrophic for you. Oh, you guys do this. I know. Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I can spend hours ranting about this, guys. I could. About the things that we're all feeling right now. I'm not going to. So bad you're back to daily nosebleeds. Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible. I'm sorry to hear that. Ooh, if these aren't readable, like, man, I don't know what is. I'm gonna go check these out tomorrow, like on the camera. I wonder if you can read these numbers, like on the overhead camera. They might be big and bright enough to do that, maybe. All right, next one. We'll just go ahead and keep moving here. I'm gonna get, excuse me, exclamation points. There's 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yeah, and the other side, it's just the symbol there. So this is if you get hit with a status from a weapon that's like -3. So if it's like, this is pinned. If you're like pinned, the weapon has pinning 3, which means you'll be -3 in your test to take it. You put this on the unit. You don't take the test until after all the shooting is done for the phase, and then there's like a route sub or a morale sub phase where you do all your checks for all your statuses. But this says you got a -3 in your test. If you suffer, like the status stays, like you fail your test, you flip it and you just have like the X on there, that symbol, which is like reverse of this. This one is like missing the X, where this. Hold on, let's see. There we go. I have to get the excess off of there, but that's the symbol. That's the test. So. Works well. Alright, we're getting the orange red out for this. To paint it, paint it. I like to paint it, paint it. Yes, yeah, very, very good. That's something. Yeah, I'll do a little write-up. I'll do a write-up for the Project Legion here. We'll make sure it's all good. But I have 3 of you guys down. This one is a whole different system here. And if you guys want to claim a Legion, this is the time. You just gotta donate. There's a donate button on the About screen if you're curious, and then you can donate and claim a Legion. Don't put it in the donate message though, because they don't pop up in chat. They pop up on the screen real quick, and I can't read them in time. Maybe something to look into actually fixing after all these years. Okay, this one might be quick. I'm not doing a lot of these outer borders on the numbers. Just that inside border there. Homie, falling off. Yeah, have a good one, Blue. Thank you for coming to hang out, and thank you for the donation. We'll get that Dark Angel. I'll have you guys vote on a mark of armor you guys want to see. There are now 4 choices of armor marks. Okay. This red starts off nice and dark, but we're gonna brighten it up. I think I'll finish these tomorrow. One thing about blue tack that I've learned over the years is the longer it sits, the more it kind of settles and eventually will like separate from itself when you try to remove it. So we don't want that to happen on these tokens. So I think finishing the painting tomorrow, if I can get the time, and then varnishing, then I can just pull these off and I can be done. It would be really nice, but some of these colors, like the yellow, is going to take like 5 or 6 coats. The purple was the fewest coats. Remember, that had the most solid coverage. This is also a really good test in testing your paint coverage.
Back and forth,
Or
back
purple.
and forth. Layer after layer.
Hey,
after layer.
anonymous. Who's anonymous? Wants Emperor's Children. Somebody wants Emperor's Children. You gotta let me know. If you want to keep it anonymous, I will write anonymous on there. But if you were just wanting to be anonymous in the donation, you will put your name. Oh, it was you. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. I don't know why I did that. But okay, sweet, Sarah Elizabeth. Thank you very much. I will paint Emperor's Children. I have painted Emperor's Children, Heresy era Emperor's Children before, and I loved it. Oh, such a good color scheme. That is, yeah, we got counted for. I did that either. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know. Not done with that Nightbot post though. Was that Wednesday on stream? We streamed a Game of Horus Heresy at 30k. And we got to use the action cam for the first time, which was exciting. We have a 2-camera setup. Right. Still going through with the first coat on this. Can't think of a time I've actually ever painted tokens for a game. Okay. Let's we gotta write Sarah Elizabeth down here. Okay. Back to our reds. For anyone that plays Heresy out there, I did try new Zone Mortalis rules today. Or at least a majority of the new rules today. Yeah, we kind of played a bit of a custom scenario, but I did not write you down, Misfit. Did you throw some at me here? I don't think I got you yet. PayPal'd me? Okay. I'll have to check that. Let me check it again. Checking me. Let me do one more. Oh no, my paint ran. No. Putting it on too thick. Not the end of the world if it runs a little bit. I think I've never asked you this, but what do you think of Lego? I like Lego. Yeah, Lego's cool. I have 6 billion Lego pieces that I collected as a kid, me and my brothers, and then I currently have the collection that is my son's now. But, yep, he's got a Lego table set up and everything, and it goes in phases. With him in particular, like I'll play Legos with him and build stuff. I like building stuff, but he'll have phases when he likes Lego and when he doesn't. The thing that Lego's doing that's really cool is that the Lego Star Wars, they do the battle packs. So it's basically like giving people what they want, where it's just like, I want an army of droids or whatever, and like you buy the battle packs and it's like 5, 6, 7 droids in the set, and yeah, they're now combining those into bigger army sets that they're selling, which is like a bundle pack of like battle packs. Which is really cool. So okay, we got the first coat on that red. If I can get like 3 coats of that red, that would be nice. Alright, let me check PayPal here. Oh, yeah, okay, okay, I think you did. Yep, Misfit. I got you on here. Alright. Let me get you down. Iron Warrior for Misfit. Sweet. Finalize my orc scheme on Squad of Boys. Oh, sweet. Alright, alright. Putting the war track together. Nice. A lot of people do custom minifigs, like clones. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mess around with like custom pieces for any of that or any of that stuff. It's just, you know, my son wants Legos, or he wants it for Christmas or his birthday, or you know, he wants to save the money for him, then great. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be printing Lego pieces. We're not buying non-Lego pieces to go in the Lego box because they never fit properly. They cheapen the whole box. So,
First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into your home.
hey, Thomas. Welcome in, Thomas. How you doing? One. Yeah, orc players are eating good. In 11th edition, this start here. So much good stuff. So many good deals, good bundle deals for orc players. Okay, you know what might be crazy? Tell me if I'm crazy here, but if I specifically wanted that nice new terrain set, okay, that Combat Patrol terrain set. Dang, okay, never mind, I'm crazy, guys. But the Combat Patrol terrain set, that terrain set is actually in the new starter set. Right? It's the same thing that came in the starter set that just released, like, or is it releasing next weekend? I think it's next weekend it releases. It's like most of the stuff, the minis from Armageddon, and then there's the terrain set, and I think they said it's the Combat Patrol terrain set. So if you get that and then you buy the other Combat Patrol, you get a full board. But I'm pretty sure that box is like $250 or something. I have to go look it up. I have to look at how much that box retailing for. Have I ever made dioramas, Levy? No, I don't really like make dioramas. No. When I paint minis, you know, I paint commissions, right? So like, you know, I paint when people pay me to paint stuff, but otherwise when it comes to me painting my own minis, it's almost exclusively for gaming. Like, I paint to put minis on a board to game with them. So like dioramas don't really like hold my interest as far as something I enjoy doing. I like to have nice looking minis, but I'm more of a if I can't use it in the game, it doesn't hold my interest as much. We gotta go look at this. 40K pre-order, right? Pre-orders? Okay. It's the starter set. $250. Okay. This, all right. This is the way to go, guys. If you don't already have the Armageddon set, okay? If you want that terrain for cheap, maybe just wait for people to buy the starter set and break it down, right? The starter set comes with most of the Space Marines, Yeah, it's missing a couple of the minis, but it comes with a lot of the Space Marine models, a ton of Orc models, everything but like the big things. It looks like, and then it comes with that full $170 set of terrain. So you're paying $80 for a Space Marine and the Orc side. I guess you're not getting the rule books and stuff, are you? You're getting the soft cover booklet, which is even better. The rules booklets, the core rule booklets, is better, way better. You don't get the cards and stuff. That's fine. You get 2 of those fold-out boards, and you get that whole $170 terrain set. Yeah, that's the way to go. We did that. Okay, going back to here. Yeah, I wonder how much those terrain sets are selling for when they get broken down like that. I imagine... Yeah, so Ghost Hawk's the terrain set alone on its own is $170. Yeah, the starter box is $250, and it comes with the $170 terrain set, and then the Marines and the Orcs. We dropped off some fresh blackberries. Oh, that's solid. Yeah, we've been getting zucchini back. We had a little issue with some of the zucchini, but we corrected it, so we're good. Back to producing. 80 for 2 combat patrols. Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. Crazy value. That is the way to go, getting that starter set. Like, I think I would choose that starter set over the Armageddon box. You get a couple more Marines, you get like 5 more intercessors, you get the jump pack chaplain, and probably 1 or 2. You get the banner guy. I don't think the banner guy comes in this starter set, but otherwise the cards and stuff that you get extra are like a year from now those are going to be worthless, right? I think I'd rather have the terrain. It was starter set's a great way to get more rat ogres for my Skaven. Yeah. If you want to play Age of Sigmar for cheap, just play the what's the Hobgoblin faction? What are they called? What was that faction called? Guys from the 3rd edition box that nobody wanted. Probably find those for free from people. They're not Oryx, they're the ones that came in the starter box. The 3rd edition starter box. Like little swamp hobgoblin guys. Those guys are cool. The Cruel Boys, that's it. Yeah, Cruel Boys. Okay, I don't know Age of Sigmar stuff. Creedence Clearwater Boys, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Big Papa, yeah, that's the appropriate. Yeah, I got some stuff to order. My LGS Breacher kit. Raven Guard Breachers. That's fun. That's a fun project, though. Raven Guard for a long time were like my second choice of a Legion. Because I like painting the black on them, and there's an STL creator that makes tons of just free files. He never charges anything for his files, doesn't have a Patreon. He just creates these incredible looking minis that are always Raven Guard. I think he made a White Scars guy at one point. But yeah, just everything you could possibly want for Raven Guard. Weapons and shoulders and characters, every single console you could imagine. He's got files for him. You can look up his stuff on Cults. He's RG and all. That's his name, just one word. I have printed some of his stuff before, but he doesn't pre-support anything. There's no like support like no customer support. It's just free stuff that he makes and pops in there, but still, it's good stuff. Okay, Nightbot, chill. Jeez. Breaking here. Okay, just yeah. Okay, we're doing another coat on this red. Going through one color at a time is the way to go here, though. This is working out much better for my sanity. Is 3 coats gonna be enough here? That's the question. Sneaky Terror Troops dropping from the sky, or you don't have enough model support from GW, and they barely get transfers. Yeah. Raven Guard are super cool, and they're like a relatively a good guy faction within the Imperium, right? They're a reduced collateral damage, have concern for civilians kind of faction. It's great. Yeah, kind of like the counter Alpha Legion, yeah. Korax is cool, yeah. Little angsty, but he's cool. Like 40k loyalists would be Raptors? Yeah, that's cool. I would love to see, when they start doing Legion-specific journals, I would love to see Raven Guard get their... Were they called Raptors? Was that what the unit was called? Or the Mutants. The, like, kind of pseudo-Primaris project that was sabotaged. That caused all the, like, mutations. It was a company. Yeah, that'd be so cool to have rules for them. Reading Korax right now? Nice. I read Deliverance Lost a long time ago. That was at least 10 years ago when I read that. Yeah, their first, like, attempt at Inductii, basically. Stole my haircut from high school 30 years ago, yeah. Dude's edgy, right? He's a good guy, though. Guy Korax. Wolf and Her Death Company? Yeah. Yeah. That'd be sweet, though, wouldn't it, Frankie Fingers? Like, that'd be so cool. Yeah. I know, Alpha Legion ruining things. You know, I always wondered how Alpha Legion would infiltrate the Thousand Sons. Because I know the Thousand Sons have a thing where they're literally, like, psychically connected to Magnus. So, like, do you need, like, a Psyker Legionnaire to get in there? But, like, can Magnus tell? You know? Because he basically, like, reads all their thoughts all the time. Hey, Monster Den Studios, welcome in. Welcome, everybody. How are you guys doing? How was stream? Welcome. We are just chilling in paint. I'm probably going a little later than I should be, but we'll go a few more minutes. I'll do one more coat here. Welcome, guys. Guys, go follow Monster Den if you don't already. I'm doing really well. Yeah, just painting some status tokens for the Horus Heresy game. And yeah, just many coats of paint. That's what we're doing. Chilling, talking about random stuff, pre-orders, 40k terrain, Horus Heresy, that kind of stuff. Space Wolves can infiltrate Thousand Sons, Alpha Legion can. Yeah, but the Space Wolves did it like overtly. Yeah, that guy was a jerk though. I was so happy. Reading that Space Wolf's death was one of the most satisfying things in those novels. Parties eat the flesh to gain their memories. You just think about sorcery things. Yeah, okay. Maybe. Yeah, that's maybe what they do. Yeah, welcome. Wild Wolf, how you doing? Monster Den, what were you working on stream? Extra-handed Magnus is... Oh, that's... Oh, God, I hate that so much. That is some of the worst writing. GW hates Magnus so much. I blocked that story out of my brain, dude. I did. Doing pretty good. That's good to hear. It's good to hear. Show you a more finished example of what I'm doing here. He threw all of his memories in the dumpster. Yeah. GW, man, they hate Magnus so much. 30k Magnus is really cool. They still do janky things with him, but 40k Magnus is like the most awful mustache twirling villain. Rain run, time for some sleep. Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be me soon. So, no problem, man. Thank you for the raid, guys. Again, go follow Monster Den Studios. Show them some love. It's completely free. I'm gonna hope that a third coat is enough here. I am enjoying painting these, though. It's something nice about just painting it like a token. satisfying. I do think I need one more coat on these. You guys stick around if I paint one more coat here. So, finished product here. So this is the token itself, and I was kind of a dummy. I clipped these off the sprue before I paint it. I'll clean up the blue tack, but these are the tokens, the two sides of the tokens. So they're status tokens for the horsehair. So you have 8 of each token. I'm painting them different colors. There are 4 different tokens. So this is the second batch. I finished the first one. Yeah, the first one I just need to varnish, that's all. So we're just gonna go real quick, put one more coat on this dried paint. I think I'll finish them tomorrow. I don't want them sitting on that blue tack too long, because it's gonna kind of settle in and be hard to remove. So we'll varnish them, and then I'll have some nice tokens, so when I'm playing games on stream, you guys will be able to see the tokens from very far away. Even if I'm sitting in the overhead view, you should be able to see that there is a status token, and then you can maybe ask, and we'll get the colors down eventually. Yeah, Ghost Hawks, you're right though. That I didn't realize that starter set is a combat patrol for each faction. It's essentially 3 combat patrol boxes for $250. And if you get a good LGS discount, like a 20% discount, that's a $200 box is what that ends up being. Crazy good value. I didn't get Armageddon. As if you gotta wait for Marines to be separate. Yeah. You know, it's funny about those sets. I bought the past few starter sets for 40K, and those sets go real hard on like FOMO, right? Like you need to get the set or it's gonna be out and you lose out on the value. All right, Big Papa, have a good one. Have a good one. I'll hopefully see you later this week, man. But it's amazing when you decide, you just consciously make that decision of like, I am not going to buy that set. You're just good. And now, you know, you look at that starter set and you're like, you know, well, the starter set's pretty good, you know. Like that's 3 combat patroller and stuff. You get some nice terrain in there, some brand new terrain, and 2 combat patrols, and it's, you know, the $250. Like that's a solid deal. Whereas if you bought that Armageddon set, you know, it might have better value, you know, because you have like more minis and you get the big book and you get the cards and stuff. But you know, I'd prefer the terrain over more minis at this point. I like terrain. Troy, good evening. How are you doing? We're about done for the night. Finishing up a little. I might grab the numbers real quick after this. haven't visited my LGS to know if they have Armageddon. Yeah, most stores around me still have Armageddon in stock. Yeah, you got the Maxis box and the Whirlwinds, yeah. I did see a Whirlwind in stock the other day. It was today. Today I was at the LGS, yeah, and they had a Whirlwind in stock, which is cool. With shoulder pads that can be multi-part, yeah. Multi-part shoulder pads. Dude, what do you think of the Mark IV Marines, Ghost Hawk? Do you have any strong opinions on the Mark IVs yet? I've already painted 5 of them for a command squad. And assembled 20 more. I'd say have some opinions on those minis. My opinion is the Mark IV are not only my favorite armor mark to like from style and everything, but I think that kit is the nicest tactical marine kit they've put out yet. The detail is like so crisp. It's got like lots of good detail on it. Yeah, almost no mold lines. Yeah. Just great all around. Yeah. Yep. Well, you'll have your chance soon to get more. Okay. Got that right. I'm going to do this real quick. Yeah, I painted a command squad. I made and painted real quick. I used them today. It was really nice. Not have weapons yet. Need a draft day to randomize my armor. Yep. My goal is to get at least 20 tactical marines of each armor mark. So far I have 6 and 2, and then I have the 4s assembled, not painted yet. I have 50 Mark 6 Marines. Hey, Starlit Misfit, what's going on? Can't sleep? That's too bad. It's too bad. Default bolter Mark IIs? Yeah, with the Calth box. I wanted to wait until newer Mark IVs came out, because I wanted everything to kind of be stylistically similar. So I'm glad I waited. It didn't take me too long. I still have 15 Mark IVs that I don't currently have a plan for. Sell 40k army? Oh yeah, all your crazy car repairs. I'm sorry to hear that. Is the car fixed up? Are we good to go though, as far as that goes? In Friday. Okay. Alright, that's a cruddy position to be in though, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm loving these tokens, guys. They show up so well. Needs a little bit of time to dry, but like you should be able to see that from above the table. Quick coats of this white. I went from hating these tokens to loving them. just spending two evenings painting. I'll have to spend a little more time painting tomorrow, but yeah, really like these. Dark Angels and Tau, as well as waiting for 11th Army projects. Okay. So you got stuff. You're not totally SOL here, but yeah, it hurts. It hurts though. I can understand. I want functional game pieces that are readable from a far distance away. I'm not going for crazy effects or highlights or any kind of notable skill inserted into these tokens. It's just bold colors that are readable. Camera. That's on the Dark Angels, yeah. But you didn't. Yeah, that's fair. I sold some 40k armies years ago, just to fund some other hobbies when I didn't think I'd be getting back into 40k, and at this point I regret it. You know, I didn't have like a need to sell them. I sold them because I wanted an easy excuse to upgrade my PC, and I think I took a trip to paid for my trip to Worlds for Star Wars Armada. That helped pay for it. Alright, Frankie Fingers, yeah, I'll see you Tuesday. Yep, have a good one. Okay, one more coat of white here, and we're gonna call it, guys. Late for me too. I normally don't stream this late. These have been fun to paint though, and I've enjoyed this stream. You guys have made this really pleasant stream. It's been a good day. It's been all afternoon playing Warhammer. Got to read a book with my son, and we hobbied a little bit too. He was assembling his Mandos for Star Wars Legion. And that was a whole lot of fun. Slowly working his way through them. I think we'll do more this week. But yeah, I get the hobby with you guys tonight. We'll have something good to paint. We'll paint some terrain on Tuesday. We'll see. If I'm not feeling up for that, we'll put a character on the table and paint him. You know, it takes about an hour, a little less than an hour. Paint one side here. We have two more colors to paint. The yellow is going to take 5 or 6 coats. That one's going to be the worst one, I think. But we got paint work done on 2 of these. Oh, these look so good. I'm so happy. I have like cool colored game pieces. And I'm really excited about it. It's something I'm going to do, though. I got to do this. Got to do it. Just on this part. One more little coat. It's a little separated. Red paint. So if you guys aren't familiar with my stream, I do stream on YouTube and Twitch. And I stream Sunday nights. And then I stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm on Eastern Daylight Time right now. I normally stream in the late mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern, on weekdays, on my Tuesday through Thursday streams. I just chill and paint minis, that's all I do. Except for, I'm trying once a week, we're doing live tabletop game streams. So, since we've started, I've streamed 3 different games. We've streamed Horus Heresy multiple times. I'm a huge fan of Horus Heresy. We have streamed Middle-earth strategy battle game. And we have streamed, we did a Magic stream, Magic the Gathering and Gundam TCG stream. And so we'll be streaming stuff. Might get one this week, might take a break this week, we'll see. Might just be painting this week. We'll see how it goes. But we're going to try to do those about once a week. And just streaming a variety of games. Might do some Star Wars this week. Maybe I can convince Zen to play Star Wars. Something. But yeah, come and hang out. Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to about 2 o'clock. Yeah, I chill and paint. It's this vibe. We listen to some lo-fi beats and just hang out. I paint a lot of minis, so that's what I'm about. I'm also a full-time commission painter. If you're interested in commissions, just let me know. Send me a message on Discord. Say hi. We could talk. And yeah, we can figure that out. But all that said, you guys have a wonderful evening. I hope I do get to see you guys on Tuesday. If I don't, have a great week. We'll be painting, and yeah, I'll be putting some posts in Discord. If you want to see the Discord, let's put this up here, and come hang out. We got a great community. I'm going to post about our Project Legion. I'll make a little write-up. I'll post about it tonight or tomorrow morning, and we'll get to talk about that. Hey, Jaded, what's going on? So, yeah. But with that, you guys have an amazing evening, and I will see you all on Tuesday. Good night, everybody.